Okay, so what answer did you guys get for number 5? Did you look at that?
The two legs connect.
Yep, so where the legs connect, we could also say opposite the base. Okay, then we have some theorems. So base angle theorem. What is that saying?
If the sides are congruent, then the angles are congruent.
Yeah. And so you can write that in your own writing if you like. You can just circle or highlight. If this doesn't make sense to you, just remember if sides are the same. And so these two sides are the same, which means our base angles are the same. All right, and then the converse is just as the opposite. If we know the angles are the same, we know the sides are the same. And then down below, the corollary is if it's equilateral, then it's equiangular. And if it's equiangular, it's equilateral. So what you have to remember, this is when we know things about the sides, it can translate to angles and vice versa. So flip to the next page when you have that. Okay, so looking at our drawing, if NJ is congruent to NM, which two angles equal each other? Yeah, so J and M would equal each other. Okay, now if LM is congruent to LN, and I'm just doing a different color here, which two angles equal each other? So M is one of those base angles, right? But what's the other one? N. And can I say just N, or do I need 3 letters for this one?
What?
Yeah, because N could be all the way to here, it could be to the K, to the L, and so I want just L and M would be the small one when it goes in there. Okay, I heard some questions. Do you have questions over that? Or should we finish this section and then see if there's questions? Finish it? Okay, if angle NKM is congruent to NMK, which two sides are congruent? Can you figure that out looking at yours? Did you get it? Or you have a question? Oh, can you pick up the dark green packet in that box? So we're talking about sides, so we're going to need 3 letters or 2 letters? 2. Yeah. So NK, and do the line over it, and NM. And so I was talking about this single, NKM, and NMK. And last one, can y'all figure it out on your own?
Yeah.
All right, what'd you say? Oh, you need a little bit of time. See if you can figure out which 2 letters for that last one. Alright, anyone get it yet? Yes. LJ and LN. Okay. Give me thumbs up, medium, or down how well you understood that. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So I saw enough thumbs down. Stay really quiet if you got it, but I'm just going to explain again what we were doing here. So you guys look up here, especially if you're not quite understanding it. Each of these, we're looking at what they have marked for us, so NJ and NM. And I can look at it here. NJ was this side, NM was this side. And then I know that the two base angles are going to be the same. So then I know angle J and angle M are the same. And then same thing for here. I look at the sides they give me and then I figure out which are those base angles, how I label them. Here I just find, so remember when we're labeling angles, the vertex is in the middle. So I come to K and then trace out NMK. So I know it's talking about this angle here. And then NM and MK was talking about this angle here. And I say, okay, if these two base angles are the same, then the sides beside them have to be the same. And so I trace MN and KN. Making a little more sense? Okay. If you still have questions once we get through notes, ask me and I'll come work with you on that. So now we're just going to find the values of X and Y. So what things do we know about triangles that will help us find values? Yeah. So we know the triangles add up, inferior angles add to 180, right? We know that the square here is 90. Do we know anything else?
Y minus 25.
So here we know this is y minus 25. And so we have two triangles here. What type of triangles do we have?
Do you have an isosceles?
Yeah, so isosceles and equilateral.
So y minus 25.
Okay, so do we know what the angles of an equilateral triangle add up to?
All the same.
Which
Y minus
is
25.
no, angles of equilateral. What do they all measure? 60. There we go. So equilateral angles is 180 divided by 3, which equals 60. Okay, so if these are all 60, and I know this is 90, what is this little angle here going to be? 30. Okay, so I start with what I know from equilateral triangles. I'm just slowly working my way around. If this is 30, what could I do to find these two angles?
180 minus 30 divided by 2.
Yeah. So 180 minus 30 equals 150. Divide by 2 equals 75. So what does y equal? Okay.
Y equals
What do you think I should do next?
the other problem.
Yeah, so we need to figure out sides now. How might I do that?
You add in.
Yeah, so I plug in 75. Minus 25 gives me 50. Okay, this side is 50. Then this side is 50. Does x also equal 50? Yes. How do I know? Yeah. I know this is equilateral, so these sides are the same, and isosceles has to have both those sides the same, so therefore it's the same. Don't you love problems like this? It's like a puzzle. It's so much fun. Okay. You'd probably use this if you were doing, like, designing, like if you become an architect, or someone was even telling me, like, for landscape engineering, or even, like, landscape, just in some sprinkler systems, they're constantly dealing with, like, angles and stuff to make sure the whole yard's covered. Okay, so any ideas? How am I going to work my way up to the x? Yeah. Oh, sorry, on next problem. So if this is 70, what's the angle?
70.
If these are both 70, what's that angle?
One. No, not one.
Yeah. 40, because it's 180 minus 70 minus the other 70, which gives us 40. If this is 40, what's this angle?
40.
How do I know?
Vertical angles.
Vertical angles. And if this angle's 40, what's that angle?
40.
40. How do I know?
So they're kind of group.
Yeah, because it's the isosceles triangle, so x equals 40. Okay, so number 11, if HJK is equilateral, what are the values of x and y if JK equals 1/3 y minus 6? Okay, so let's go ahead and write, so JK is 1/3 y minus 6. Oh, sorry, this would be this side is JK.
Yeah, no, there's H on there. It says HJK.
Okay, I'm going to assume this is H and it just didn't get printed. On my answer key, this is H, so, okay. Yeah, and I wrote that in the wrong place. It should be here. So 1/3 y minus 6. What do I know about equilateral triangles? All sides are the same. So I just have to set up two equations. If this side's x minus 8, sorry, x plus 8, x equals 7, right? Equals 15 minus 8. So x equals 7. Can I do the same thing with the y and the 15? So 15 is labeled right here. And that was labeled there.
No what?
So then I do 1/3 y minus 6 equals 15. Yeah, it does. So 1/3 y equals 21 times 3 is y equals 7. Are we ready for the next one? All right. How do you think we'd set up this next one? How do you think you'd set up this one? What do we know about these angles?
The legs are the same.
So legs are the same, so these angles would be the same. What else do we know about these?
The exterior
What's our exterior angle formula?
equals x plus.
Yeah. So we know that the 3x has to equal this angle plus this angle. Can we use that in this problem? It's not quite right, is it? So let's look, what else could I use here to figure out 3x in this inside part? Yeah, 180. So this straight line has to, so 3x plus whatever this angle is has to equal 180. So could I label this angle 180 minus 3x? Sure. And then this angle would be 180 minus 3x too, right? So now that I've been able to label my three interior angles, it's going to be a long equation, but can I set up an equation with that? Yeah. So I do, what's 180 plus 180? So 360 minus 6x plus x, because this plus this x, equals 180. Right? And so then these combine. So negative 5x equals 180. What's 180 divided by negative 180. What's 180 divided by 5?
That would be 2. Calculator manager.
Should we grab a calculator or should we, what is it? 33? No. 36? Yeah, 36. So x equals 36. Oh no, I found a mistake up here.
Ooh.
Can you guys find it that we did on the problem before?
Oh, you multiplied the 3.
Yeah, I didn't
You didn't
divide
divide it.
So what should it have been? Multiply or divide? Well, 1/3 y to cancel out the 1/3.
You would divide the 1/3 by 21, right?
It should have been multiply, right? So it was supposed to be multiply because 3 times 1/3 gives us the 1 that we want, right?
But if you divide it 1/3,
So, well, okay. So if we divided 1/3 by 3, is that going to cancel out the 1/3? No, it would give you 1/9. So we have to multiply. 1/3 we have to multiply by 3 over 1 because you multiply by the reciprocal. But this is the part that was wrong. Is 21 times 3 is not 7, it's 63.
Chase, did you catch it?
All right. The next one, there's these little arrows here. What do these little arrows mean? It never ends and? Parallel lines, right?
Yeah.
You remember all that stuff we learned last unit? So if I have parallel lines, which means I could continue them out like this, I can use my angle pairs and know if this is x, what's this? Mm-hmm. And since these two legs are the same, if this is x, what's this? And so now I can set up an easy equation for my interior angles, right? So 4x equals 180. So 2x plus x gives me 4. And then we divide by 4 to get x equals 15. Sorry, x equals 45, not 15. All right, on the next one, do I still have parallel lines?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so if this is x, what would this angle be? Mm-hmm. And if this is x and this is x, what would I do with the exterior angle to find out this? So 3x has to equal these two angles added together, correct? So what's 3x minus 6?
2x.
So does this have to be 2x?
Wouldn't it be 1x because it's 2x's?
Well, no, so the exterior angle equals the sum of the opposite interior angles, so we don't care about this one. We just care about those. And so then I solve, is this the same as the one before? Yeah. So x equals 45. You guys have to go now. Let's do this last example, okay? All right, guys. One last example. Why do you think it tells me that O is the center of the circle? But why do we need to know that to solve?
Radius.
You guys need to go into some minute, right? Yeah. If this is the radius, do the two sides have to equal each other? Yeah. So if both sides are the radius, they equal each other. And so then we just solve. Hey guys, one talker. It's my turn to talk right now. So this is 2x, 2x, and x, so that gives me 5x equals 180. We already did that division. What's it equal? 36. Okay, so that's the end of our notes. There's a big